The Halifax County Board of Commissioners meeting will officially come to order at this time. Thank all of you all for being with us on this day after Martin Luther King's birthday.
Yes.
Probably the greatest, or one of the greatest Americans who ever lived, in my opinion. But do thank you all for being here. And we're going to be led in invocation by Commissioner Shanoa Richardson Davis, after which we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance in unison. Those who wish to join us, please stand at this time.
Thank you for allowing us to see another day and allowing us to come together once again to accept the business for this country. Dear Lord, we just thank you for our safe travels here and from here. Dear Lord, we now ask you to show your presence and your guidance over our agenda tonight and our decisions and our actions. That everything we do be for the betterment of Halifax County. All these things I ask in your name.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I trust that my colleagues have had an opportunity to review the agenda, and just before I ask for a motion for the adoption, I do know that our county manager has an addition.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had this in your update on Friday. If you would be willing to add an item, it would be 1H, and it's a resolution regarding the search grant through USDA Rural Development.
Okay, anything else from the county manager, or from the commissioners, or the county attorney?
Just so you can anticipate it, we do have a matter of closed session,
Okay,
and that's all I'll say, so you can anticipate it.
okay, all right. All right, thank you for that. Okay, with that being said, can I get a motion for the adoption of the agenda? Okay, motion made by Vice Chair Brewer, second by Commissioner Johnson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay. Next item is the conflict of interest. In accordance with the Halifax County Board of Commissioners Rules of Procedure and the North Carolina General Statute Section 153A-44, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board by law. Does any board member have a known conflict of interest with respect to matters coming before us this evening? Commissioner Smith.
No conflict.
No conflict?
No conflict.
Madam Clerk, let the record so reflect that the 6 commissioners present do not have any conflict with matters coming before us this evening. Okay, moving to the agenda items, Halifax Community College fiscal year 23-24 budget, and we're happy to have with us Dr. Elliott, our illustrious president of Halifax Community College, come before us, and you may have one or two guests that you want to introduce. You may come forward at this time.
Good evening, Commissioner Bryant, Commissioners. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here with you this evening. I have my CFO with me.
I'm Sanithia Smith, the Chief Financial Officer of Halifax Community College.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We always thank you so much for allowing us to come before you briefly. This evening, we're before you to share with you the North Carolina Community College System Office annually requires community colleges in the system to submit their DCC 2-1 required budget request sign-off form. And so we're just here this evening to share with you that we have plugged in all of our appropriations from the various sources, funding sources, to include our county appropriation. And so this is just a requirement that we have to obtain our chair of the Board of Trustees signature as well as our county commissioners. And so we have done that, and we are here to respectfully request approval and signature from our Halifax County chair.
Okay, all right, any questions or comments from any of the commissioners? I know Ms. Brewer sits on that board. Okay. If not, I believe we need a motion for the approval of the community college fiscal year 23-24 budget.
I move to approve the Halifax College fiscal year 2023.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Davis. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Smith. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, that was easy, Madam President.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Next item, branding for the Halifax County 250th celebration. We'll hear from the President, CEO of our Halifax County Center Visitors Bureau, Ms. Laura Medley.
Thank you, Chairman Bryant. It's a pleasure to be here on this cold evening to bring you hope of spring and some things starting to happen here in April. First of all, I want to let you know that I'm here tonight on behalf of the Marketing Committee for the America 250 Halifax County NC Commission, which you guys established. There are a few people here from the Marketing Committee. Brett Lubbock is here with us, and Stephen Green. Kathy Scott is here. She helps on every committee of the entire commission. And I really want to thank you for Dia Denton and Christina Wells. They have steered this ship beautifully. It's been some bumpy seas along the way, but I think we are really in smooth waters now and really getting a lot of good stuff done. So I want to thank you for bringing all these good people together to work together for marketing. Also, I want to remind you that Michael Ray is the chairman of the commission. He couldn't be here tonight, and Stephen Green is the vice chair of the commission. So thank you for putting all these people together so we can make good things happen for the county. If you'll allow me for just a minute, I want to kind of set the stage for you. So once upon a time in the heart of North Carolina, there was a place where history whispered through the streets and where the spirit of independence was born. That place was Halifax County, and its gem, Historic Halifax, is a portal into a different area. As the sun rises on April 12th, 2024, something magical will happen in Halifax. The county that earned its title as the birthplace of American independence will embark on an extraordinary journey through time. From that day forward, a 2-year-long celebration will unfold, igniting the flame of patriotism and unity once again. Let's give you a little wet your whistle for what we're hoping will happen in the next 2 years. Okay. The color is not good on the screen. It's so disappointing. These things are really pretty, and I really want you to be proud. So, how do we begin? How do we begin to brand and invite people to Halifax County and let people know that this is where a history traveler or a child in school or anybody interested in America's 250 needs to put on their list of places to visit? So we looked at America. This is the logo for America's 250th. And we looked at what North Carolina is doing. Of course, leading with America 250th and then adding NC. So what did we decide to do for Halifax County? Lead with America, of course. Add the 250, which is combined with the 1776, because what happened here was so important, and the date of that is 1776. And we added the 13 stars of the 13 colonies. This logo can be used in many different ways, on many different things and formats, and this is what we call a style guide. So anybody in the county that wants to use this for purposes of marketing the 250th, they are able to get this from us, and we're happy to share it. The colors, of course, are red, white, and blue. That goes without saying. We also developed 2 seals. As you can see, one represents the quill pen and the signing of the resolves, and the next represents the double H's for Historic Halifax. The town will be using this, the site will be using this, Halifax Restoration will be using this. We've added the gold color here. And then we took this logo, broke it apart, and did a banner design. So imagine, if you will, the ladies working on the flag from 1776, and there's a big controversy about what flag that should be. We will figure it out. Men in a room discussing signing the resolves. But also think about Enfield breaking this apart and putting an image of the riots there and using that, or Littleton using it to talk about persons ordinary. We really want every community in Halifax County to be able to take these images and take these pieces and use it for their community and their special 250th events. And we're very excited about this. This is what we call a wayfinding package. Did you know that there are people that go to Historic Halifax and don't know that they can come and eat at Two Doors Down or go to the Trophy Room or the Hen and the Hog? They can completely miss it because they're not exactly next door. So we're doing a wayfinding package. The big signs take you from the interstate into town. The next size signs take you from the town to Halifax, from Halifax back to the town. They're called downtown signs. This is an image of banners, parking, and then welcome signs. The town of Halifax themselves will be installing the welcome signs as you enter the town from 301, and my organization is going to fund first phase of the wayfinding signs, which will be 10 signs downtown going back and forth from the site and the town. And also, I want to stop here and thank Dia Denton and her team. They've agreed to help us install these signs, which is a real cost savings for us. We really couldn't do it without you guys. We worked with a company called Bazell Designs out of Charlotte to create these images from our logos. So by April 12th...
Hold on for a second.
Yes, sir.
The wayfinding signs, will those signs be permanent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And you'll see in-town signs by this April, and then we hope to do interstate in 2025.
Okay.
And so by April 12th, you'll see these signs within the town, and you'll also see the welcome signs. And this is, I hate Larry Perkins couldn't be here tonight. He has been so involved in this, and this was his brainchild, to develop these license plates that we can get DOT to help us sell, and then the proceeds will come into the new nonprofit that they're forming. And I just can't wait to see who gets in line first and gets the number 1776, because I guess there'll only be one of them. But this is something that the projects committee is going to take forward, or the nonprofit, I guess, and make happen. That's just the original design. So, instead of creating a new website, we thought we'd just piggyback on the traction that Visit Halifax has and do a landing page. So it's visithalifax.com/250, and I don't know if you guys have this in your packages, but I can send it to you so you don't have to write all this down. So that's where all the information will be about what's going on, and then we also, real importantly, I want you all to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at America 250 Halifax NC. So we've started posting there. We want to do a lot more, but we're sharing what America's doing, we're sharing what the state is doing, and we're sharing what we are doing here in Halifax County. So that's going to get revved up soon. That's the best place to sort of see what's happening and kind of get excited. This is a billboard that we did before we got our logos, but as you can see, we've already started beating the drum for the birthplace of American independence, and you'll see more of that. Partnered with Visit NC. This is an article that lives on Visit NC, directing people to Halifax and telling the story. They've done some social media posts for us already, and I met with Cultural Resources last week, and we're going to have a combined Cultural Resources and Halifax meeting soon to really... They have national PR firms that we really need to help us with national media, television media, so hopefully that'll be happening around April. This is a half-page guide, in the North Carolina Travel Guide that's just hit the stands. And this is a full-page article in something called Towns We Love that Our State magazine produced. It has a really long shelf life, so we thought it would be a good idea to get into that publication. And we're in January's publication with another full-page ad, and that will be in the bags that I hand out to you so you can take a moment and read that. We're trying to get people to know that they can come to the site and then go have a great meal or shop in the town of Halifax. We've had ads in Garden and Gun so far, Southern Living. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be pointing this thing. Is it up? Okay. Oh, this is another Eat While You're Here, Travel, Taste, and Tour, 3-page spread. We're creating a new video for the county that I'll come back and show you in the new year, and this is some shots of filming that, and we also did a new photo shoot. We're also creating a new community magazine that I'll bring to you, and this is one of the photos that we took while doing that. And just to assure you that everything's going well, our association, which is the North Carolina Travel Industry Association, gave us a Platinum Award for Marketing Achievement for this package of branding. Oh, and this I want to leave you with. Isn't that lovely? This is the courthouse that we're all standing in. And wouldn't these be banners be beautiful coming down the front steps? And can't you just see events and music in front of the courthouse there? So Dia will be bringing information about that to you. We're really excited about having that and having these banners all over the county, at the visitor center, in different places where they could really pop, and we can have different images on those. I'm going to hand out some bags now for you. Brent's going to help me. Okay, this way you can have it. With this legal picture, I want you to look inside, and one of your very own commissioners, Patrick Pauls, made some caps for you guys. We worked really hard to get these done by January 2nd, and I couldn't be here because we are, but I wanted to say hello to you all and do that was special for him. There's a little bit of talking points in there for you, the ad from our state magazine, and a quill pen to put on your desk. So if you see Patrick, thank him for getting those done for you.
I will. I talked to him quite a bit.
Oh, good. He really worked hard over Christmas to get those done. So, thank you all for your time. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions from any of the commissioners?
How many people are on the marketing committee?
I would think about 25. We have a big group. It's big.
That's a lot of work.
Yes.
And the other question that I had, is there any plan to go out into different communities and spread?
Yes. That's why Larry Perkins isn't here tonight. He is the best ambassador. If you need somebody to beat your drum, he's wonderful. He's in Hobgood tonight. I know he's been to Weldon. I don't know if he's been to Scotland Neck yet. He has. He is really getting out there and telling that story. And all of the committees, the marketing committee, the events committee, we have a community stakeholders committee. We've tried really hard to make sure that they are representative of the entire county. There's another component of this that I didn't want to drag you through tonight, but the nation is looking at the Revolution and looking at 1776 and talking about our birth. But the other part of their marketing is when were we us? So that allows us to open up this story and talk about everything that has happened in this country to make us American since 1776, through, the Civil War, Restoration, the Civil Rights Movement, everything that has happened in our country. So we have this really big story to tell, and every community in Halifax County shares a piece of that story. So we hope that they will all have a story to tell the story, put on events related to this. For instance, we hope the powwow will wrap around the 250th and be involved in that. We're involving the tribe very much in what we're doing. And in your bags is a tentative schedule. It's a draft schedule of the first 3 days. So we see this kicking off in April and running through July 4th, 2026. So it's basically a 2.5-year celebration. But you can see what's been pulled in for the 3-day event in Halifax, a big party Friday night at the Weldon Mills Theater, music on the lawn in front of the courthouse here on Friday night. But the real job is getting people to keep coming for that whole 2.5 years afterwards, not just one weekend. We want it to really move the needle on visitation here. Historic Halifax is our least visited attraction right now, and we really have a goal to change that. So, yeah, we really want, and so if anybody hears about this and wants to get involved, just pick up the phone and call me or Larry Perkins or any of these folks, and we'll plug them into a committee.
Okay, very good question. Any other questions or comments from the commissioners?
I know you all are working more out in the communities,
Yes.
discussing the events and the excitement that's behind it. So I think we all need to be aware that it is a county-wide.
Yes, and there's so many people involved. I was supposed to be here on January 2nd and couldn't be, and I think a lot of people couldn't come tonight, but it's a huge group of folks making this happen. It's really exciting to see.
I'm excited to see the people who volunteer.
Yeah, really.
Bring these things to the.
Yes, on that little card in there, the historic site is going to need volunteers, and there's a number to call Carl Burke and volunteer. He's going to need help that weekend and throughout the next 2 years, so.
Well, Laura and all the committee members, Stephen and
Brent.
Brent, appreciate you being, look, all I can think of is sipping hot.
That's fine, that's what you're thinking, I'm doing my job.
But anyway,
Thank you
thank you all for being here, and appreciate all that you're doing. Thanks so
Thank you.
much. And I think at this time, I do believe that we have to accept this plan on behalf of the county. Can I get a motion for that? Okay, motion made by Commissioner Johnson. Is there a second? Second by Vice Chair Brewer. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Again, thank you all so much, and I think that says a lot, and my colleagues have already mentioned the entire county, from Littleton to Hopgood and everything in between. I think that's a great thing. I think it's also very significant to have our representative, Michael Ray, serving as a chairperson. I think that speaks volume as well. So, again, thank you all so much. All right. Next item. Presentation, Human Relations Committee Annual Work Plan, Dr. Stephanie Craven. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And I think you may have some of your committee here as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, good evening, Chairman Bryant, Commissioners. We really do appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Last time I stood before you, we talked about we were revitalizing the Human Relations Commission. You all gave us that opportunity to do that. And we're just thankful for your support and for your confidence in us. There are members of our committee who are present today, this evening, and I'd like them to stand. Mr. Robert Bingham, he's going to take his seat. Jessica McMillan, she's over there behind the little, Ms. Hazel Blunt, Ms. Patricia Peel, and Mr. Stephen Green. And at the end of, or during a break, if I could beg your indulgence, we'd just like maybe to have a little photo op with you all, if you wouldn't mind, to promote the committee. But we're here tonight to present our annual plan. That was our requirement for our first full year of operations, which is in January of 2024. We'd like to really especially thank people who were instrumental in helping us to reorganize and to come up with this plan. Renee Perry, in her absence, was very instrumental in helping us. Now we have the wonderful benefit of having Miss Christina Wells to be our liaison with the county. She's doing a remarkable job. And Mr. Rollins, thank you for being there with us, keeping us straight, and giving us that counsel and advice that we needed to get started. So our annual plan, we have a video that we'd like to show you. I've got my IT person coming to make sure I hit the right button. And Jessica McMillan has created this wonderful video. It's right here. Down button. And here we go. So that's our video that we're starting. We'll have other videos like this. The whole purpose of the HRC is to promote unity and inclusion, and the fact that we all have to do this together. And as we start approaching the 250th, that's what we want to promote, that we're together in our efforts to build a better Halifax and to contribute to this awesome community that we have. So our annual plan comes on the heels of a very, very productive 2023. We fully staffed the HRC. We revised our HRC bylaws. Thank you, Mr. Rollins, for that. And they were subsequently approved by the commission. We have met monthly each month. And the good news is that we've had a quorum at each of our monthly meetings. So we're grateful for that. And ensure that we were really in lockstep alignment with what you all wanted us to do. We asked Chairman Bryant to come to one of our meetings. We asked him some very pointed questions about what his goals were for us, what his vision was for Halifax County, and what his vision was for the Human Relations Committee. And with that, we developed an annual plan that includes 5 major areas and an overall operational approach to how we're going to get the job done. Our plan is designed to promote and integrate and foster diversity, inclusion, and equity into the very infrastructure and fabric of Halifax County. And we have an infographic for you. This infographic is going to outline our 5 major areas, and I'll start with each one. I won't go through all of them. You have that for you. for your information, but we're going to talk about education, diversity and inclusion, training, and events. Starting with education, our goal is to really promote diversity and inclusion. It's a given that we have diversity here, but inclusion is not always a given. We have to work to be more inclusive. And so we'll be doing workshops about inclusion. We'll have monthly proclamations for you to review and then sign, so that not only does our community know we have an HRC, but our community will know that our commissioners are in lockstep with us about promoting different events. I'll share a little bit about what you'll get in a minute. We want to create a knowledge base with literature, and then we want to partner with other organizations that are creating and building an educational outreach to Halifax County citizens. So this is under the education. We're also looking to partner with the 250th, because we want to make sure that diversity and inclusion is integrated into every celebration that we have. And so people will see that we are us, right? We are Halifax County, and all of us have something to contribute. With diversity and inclusion, we want to be an advocate for inclusive practices. And so as a HRC, the first thing we thought about is that people need to know that we are here and that we are here to help the county. And with that, we're going to start doing some social media branding. We want to be able to be identified as the HRC. So part of our meeting with Ms. Denton this month, we've already met with her about the budget that would be required for us to be more visible with some pins to just recognize the different members of the HRC. Our goal is to serve as a resource for Halifax County citizens, and we're already getting some inquiries from citizens who contact us because they want some support or help. We've asked, Christina, I think, has talked with Mr. Rollins to come to our next meeting because we are hearing from citizens, and we need, Glenn, we need your help in kind of mapping out what that looks like and how we were to respond. And then we want to be able to provide diversity and inclusion information for local businesses, how they can become more inclusive as well. With training, we're starting with ourselves. It's important that we know what diversity and inclusion looks like, and so we're asking that the county would support us to have 2 HRC retreats each year, one at the beginning of the year so we can build that strategic focus for the year, and one at the end of the year so we can look at what we've accomplished and then provide a plan for the commission for the year to come. We're also going to have webinars and workshops, and then we want to host some diversity events. One of the ideas we had was a diversity scavenger hunt, where we sent people all over the county looking for diversity. And when they find it, we're going to have some prizes for that person who finds inclusive opportunities in the county. And then lastly, events. Our goal is to do a multicultural day sometime in the late summer, early fall, where we perhaps have an event where we give people passports and we allow them to see the different cultures that are represented by the citizens in our county. And they'll be able to have food tastings and listen to lectures, and then really again to experience and be exposed to different cultures. So that's our goal for our 4 different areas, but at the last, you'll see partnership and connection. Here's what we know. It is going to be impossible for our committee to build a diverse and inclusive Halifax County without partnering with local businesses, with community leaders, partnering with our county officials, and the citizens that call Halifax County home. So we'll be looking at other organizations, and when they're doing events, we want to show up at their events with an HRC presence to promote diversity and inclusion. And yesterday, members of our HRC, we were at the MLK breakfast yesterday morning, and we actually attended the MLK celebration at Oak Grove Baptist Church. You'll see more of us doing that, so that we're not just in a room spouting diversity and inclusion, but we're out in the community being seen and promoting and celebrating their events.
I think you also participate in Harvest Days.
We did. We wanted to do Harvest Days again this year. And with that, thank you, Chairman Bryant. You can see that we have a graphic here for the 2024 monthly event days that we are going to sponsor. So for each month, we've identified a national observance that we want to support, and each of those observances will come with a proclamation. If it's a national observance, we'll bring a proclamation before you for you to sign so that we can promote that in the community. So these are just some of the ones we did. MLK Day, we have a proclamation tonight for you to review and sign for MLK. We have next month, Black History Month, we have a proclamation for you to sign for Black History Month as well. And then you can see some of the other months that we will observe also. There are some unique opportunities for us in April. We plan to be a part of the powwow and to have an HRC presence there. And then, of course, in October, we will once again be at Harvest Day, okay, promoting the HRC and promoting diversity and inclusion. Any questions about what we've gone over so far? Okay.
I'd just like to make a statement.
Sure.
Dr. Cook. I think this is the best time for us to revitalize our human relations community. And as you probably know, in this country, diversity and inclusion is under attack.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's under attack specifically in schools and universities. And the work is cut out for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I heard today on the news that they are going to cut some classes at UNCG. And they're going to make some decisions. And as I've been following this, I'm finding that they're cutting classes that entail diversity and inclusion.
Yes, ma'am. So there is a lot of that. There's some misunderstandings about what diversity and inclusion actually means. Our committee will be educating the public to better understand that you can have a room where everybody looks exactly alike, but there's still diversity in that room. And so we have to learn how to value each other's contributions. I kind of look at it, when you start talking about what's in the news, you might hear a lot about things like critical race theory and being woke. I tend to look at it about being conscious, is that we need to be conscious of each other's diversity and respectful of it and really better understand how it unifies us and makes us better. And that's the kind of messages that we're going to send. We won't, shy away from what's in the news, but we will present it in a way that makes people more aware. We believe if we can educate them, we can dispel some of the myths that are out there, and then people will come to understand a whole lot better. But
That's why this is the best time for this committee to
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, you're right, Ms. Johnson. I tell you something, when this board decided to revamp this committee and revise it and just kind of put a hold on it for a while, and I know we all receive phone calls and conversations from folks about wanting to go ahead and start it quick, but this commission didn't move on until it was the right time. And I want to commend you and your committee so far for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you,
Y'all
sir.
are really working. You really are.
And we have some very, very committed members
I know
of the
you do.
HRC. We begin to recognize each other's strengths. We'll be, in our upcoming retreat, we are going to do some assessments that show how we're very much different, but that difference we can capitalize on.
Right.
Those are the kinds of things that we want to show forth in our approach to diversity and inclusion. But thank you for your support, and if you have any ideas that you'd like us to consider, we are open to hear what you would like us to put in our agenda. If you have some additions, please share those with us.
And I think you're going to be reporting to us, is it quarterly or semi-annual?
We can definitely do that to show our progress, but we'll probably be before you often when we present these proclamations to you.
Right.
I'll be reading a proclamation to you in just a few minutes that we would like you to sign for in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King. That is our January proclamation.
Right. Okay, just before we move to that, I believe that we're going to need approval on the information that you just presented to us.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Who wanted to become a member of the committee, what would they need to do?
Okay, so the committees are on the Halifax County website, and I believe that they're out there for people who have expressed an interest in the committee to be able to submit an application, which would be considered by the county. I think all of us saw that opportunity out there, and we applied. Our applications were reviewed by the commissioners, and you all made a decision to give us this awesome opportunity to be a part of this committee. I would defer, I think as we have a certain number of people who are on the committee by our bylaws, but that certainly doesn't mean that would not be a consideration if we found some great candidates. So we always encourage people to apply to be a part of the committee. We are also looking to bring on people who want to help us to put on events. So the volunteerism is very important as we start to look at what we can do as a committee. We would really appreciate other people who are interested in diversity and inclusion to join us, be a part of that. Yes, we meet the first Thursday. Thank you, Jessica. She's nodding. First Thursday of every month at 3:30. You're welcome.
Okay, did I have a motion for that? Have I received a motion yet? Okay, motion made by Vice Chair Brewer, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Johnson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, I think you're going to be before us for a little bit.
Yes, thank you so much. Uh-oh. I think that's the last slide, right? All right, so the next thing I'd have is a proclamation celebrating and honoring the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If you have that before you, I'll read that proclamation to you and ask, your approval of the proclamation, and if you approve, would sign this, and we can then promote this to the community. The proclamation reads, "Proclamation celebrating and honoring the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Says, whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. changed our nation forever through his leadership, service, and clarity of vision, and whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. devoted his life to advancing equality, social justice, and opportunity for all, and whereas the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. continues to inspire millions of Americans and shapes our state and nation, and whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is honored, respected, and held in the highest esteem, and his goal of a just and united society will continue to advance until his dream is fully realized. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Halifax County Board of Commissioners encourages all citizens to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by living out his teachings as we continue to work for the day when the dignity and humanity of every person is respected, when barriers to full participation are eliminated, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream becomes the American reality. Adopted the 16th day of January, 2024, and it's signed by Vernon J. Bryant, Chairman, Halifax County Board of Commissioners, and Andrea H. Wiggins, Clerk to the Board, Halifax County Board of Commissioners. Sir, with your indulgence, we ask the Commission's approval of the proclamation.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the proclamation. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll soon entertain a motion for approval. Okay, motion made by Commissioner Smith. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Every time I hear something about Dr. King, and this last paragraph is just as powerful as it can be, chills just go all over me every time.
Yes.
Especially, I have a dream speech.
Absolutely, and yesterday's program was quite impactful for me as well, because we believe that dream can become a reality for Halifax County and for our nation.
You're right. Okay, all right, we'll move to the next item, which is the 2024 Black History Month proclamation, I believe.
Yes, sir. So the proclamation for Black History Month 2024 says, whereas Black History Month is observed in February of each year and seeks to highlight the experience of Black Americans and to recognize and pay tribute to the many contributions of Black Americans to the society and culture of the United States of America. And whereas the celebration of Black Americans' contributions began in 1926, the idea of Carter G. Woodson, son of former slaves and the second African American to earn a Ph.D. from Harvard University, to promote the history, culture, and achievements of African Americans and other people of color around the world. And whereas each year since 1976, the President of the United States has proclaimed the month of February, coinciding with Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass's birthdays, to be Black History Month, to encourage the teaching of Black history in our communities and our schools. And whereas the theme for Black History Month 2024 is African Americans and the arts, to recognize the many impacts Black Americans have had on visual arts, dance, music, cultural movements, poetry, and writing. And whereas Black Americans have inspired and created change through these art forms, presenting the experience of Black history, life, and culture, and whereas there have been many successes and programs toward achieving a more equitable Halifax County, state, and nation, yet there is still much work that remains. Now, therefore, I, Vernon J. Bryant, Chairman of the Halifax County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim February 2024 as Black History Month in Halifax County, and call upon the residents and employees of the county to observe this occasion by recognizing the contributions of Black Americans to our society and Halifax County, particularly in the areas of art and culture. Once again, this proclamation signed by Vernon J. Bryant, Chairman, Halifax County Board of Commissioners, Andrea H. Wiggins, Clerk to the Board, Halifax County Board of Commissioners.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the proclamation for Black History Month 2024. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Okay, motion by Commissioner Davis. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay, now, we're going to do the photo op now.
Thank you, sir.
Let's take 5 minutes and be back in your place in 5 minutes. Commissioners, everybody at this
Thank you
table,
so much.
let's come out here, and then I think you want your Stephen and the other
Yes,
folks, Pat Peel,
we
and
do.
everyone, Ms. Blunt, I want you all to come up too.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Gets to be the fun presentation because we're asking you to approve money. So, what it is with this one is that Cooperative Extension has been granted NC Dairy Foundation grant. And it is just easier that we purchase the livestock trailer with $4,995, and then, but it'll be titled to the state, it will be owned by the state, the insurance will be by the state. We are just purchasing it, they're reimbursing us, so we can make this happen next week. Whereas if we wait for the NC State to do it, it might take us the rest of the month to do it. So again, this is pass-through money. All it is that we are just accepting the funds, issuing out the funds, and livestock will have a lovely vehicle to haul their animals back and forth. So I just need for you guys to approve the budget amendment.
Move the new dairy project revitalization grant to be approved.
Okay, motion made by Vice Chair Brewer, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
And the budget amendment is approved.
Let's ask a question.
Okay.
Is this a trailer that's going to be used by our local extension office or?
It is going to be used by local and regional. It's a Northeast district, so Warren County, trying to think, dairy project, Warren County, Edgecombe County, Nash County, Northampton County, possibly Franklin County will be all using it, which is why it's entitled through the university.
There's no requirement. No, this is okay because I've been hearing this conversation, not really focused on it, but we're going to purchase this trailer and entitle it to the state.
Yes.
Okay, and I realize we're purchasing it with the state's money, but when the state's money comes to us, it's our money, and then all bets are off.
Right.
So in addition to this budget, if the board will just also authorize the county manager and other county staff to sign whatever appropriate documents are needed to title the property in the state, I'll find the statute somewhere that lets us do that. I'm sure there must be one. Between Christine and me, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. Okay?
I'm great with that.
Okay. Sorry, it just occurred to me, we can't just be handling money and throwing it around and then pile off vehicles. In someone else's name.
Commissioner Webb, you okay to do a second with that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Should the motion really also state that we're approving the budget?
The budget amendment.
I think the budget amendment is what it's all about, but I certainly realize we probably need to be sure we've got a process we can go through and actually pilot that.
Well, I was excited to see that it wouldn't be titled to us. That it was titled to the state versus Halifax.
Liability rests elsewhere.
The lesson that everybody has to learn is that the money comes from anywhere and lands in her lap, it's our money, so we have to figure it out.
All right, with that being said, I want clarification on this. Madam Clerk, can you clarify this, what we're talking about here, or maybe, okay. Okay, do your best. I know you will. Okay, I think that sounds good. All right, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay.
All right, with that being said, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Ms. Duncan. At this time, we're going to hear from our attorney about the third amendment to the ARP Grant Projects Ordinance. Attorney Robbins.
Thank you. You will turn in your agenda item might be helpful. We are at a point with respect to some of our ARPA money that we want to ask you to consider an amendment. This would be a third amendment to our grant project ordinance. Over time, we have done amendments to this grant project ordinance to do a couple of things. Our first amendment was to extend the employee paid sick leave program through the end of 2021, I think. And then our last amendment that we did was to actually move $500,000 from the broadband portion of that grant project ordinance back to fund balance to be used for a community development project with
U.S. Cellular.
U.S. Cellular. Thank you. This is now a third requested amendment to the grant project ordinance to, at this time, requesting that you consider modifying that ordinance to allocate an additional $715,000 back to recovery of revenue replacement, so that we can free up some money for use of public utilities. And you'll see Mr. Williams is in the back to be sure how this goes. Our hope here is this. It doesn't appear this time, we've got a great grant project that's in place that we have appropriated money to, and at the appropriate time, that will be done as that project, as I tell, progresses. It doesn't appear that great grant is going to be coming forward really anymore. I'm not sure we've heard of any other than the ones that we chose to partner with and then receive great grant funding. So what's left for broadband projects would be the completing access to broadband program, the CAD program that the state is working on now. We don't have much to report about what's happening with that. I think there's been some inquiry that VIA has had from the state about the CAD program, but that's going to be the remaining program we can put broadband funding into from ARC. So it's our request and our recommendation that you consider moving an additional $715 to revenue replacement. $15,000. Yes, to revenue replacement so that we can free up that money to use for fund balance for other utilities projects that are needed. You do know that, and you recall, we put quite a substantial amount of money into capital reserve not too long ago, but the needs that Chris has in public utilities are for certain capital items, not capital projects. And only capital projects that involve construction and that sort of thing are actually funded from capital reserve. And he does have some needs that do require expenditure of money, but it's not available from the capital reserve fund. So this is a request. The proposed grant project ordinance for the third amendment is in your agenda item and attached to that. If you have questions, I may have spent too much time talking about Lady Reagan because she was enough. But if you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, a request to a motion to approve the grant for the third amendment of the grant project. And we would still, I think as I said, maybe in the agenda item, there would still be the remaining $972,000 in ARPA funding for CAD projects that may come along.
Okay, let's hear from Ms. Denton, and then if you have any questions, you can ask to Ms. Denton.
The only thing I would add is what we would like to do with $715,000. And there are 3 items. One is a tire shredder, and that would come out of the solid waste portion of public utilities. The other 2 items are a diesel pump and leak detection equipment. As you all know, we've had quite a few leaks in the last several months. This will certainly aid us in detecting those leaks and then repairing them. The tire shredder, I won't go into a terrible amount of detail, but we've had a tremendous amount of feedback from local businesses that handle like changing tires, that kind of thing, and how you dispose of them, and it's very expensive, and they're bulky. The tire shredder allows us to not only shred tires, but other items as well that are bulky. And it can really save us on hauling these. The tire shredder is by far the most expensive item at $620,000. The diesel pump costs $75,000, and leak detection equipment costs approximately $20,000. So that's where you get your $715,000 from. And I also did a very simplistic flow chart for our mines. If you need that, I have copies because I have to remember where the money's going. If you'd like one, I'll be glad to give you a copy.
Okay, you've heard the information coming from our attorney, our county manager. Any questions or comments to them at this time?
Just information on what's the process and procedure for use of the tire shredder?
Can I defer to Mr. Williams on that one?
I guess you could.
Mr. Chris Williams, our public utilities guy.
Thank you for considering this evening. I'm very excited about the possibility that we have coming before us. So your question was, what are the uses and procedures?
Not uses, how do you determine who gets to use it?
So this equipment will be on site at the landfill, and it will be used by our employees. It will not be a loaner program or anything like that. So the tire, right. The tire dealers will still have their same process. It's just what we do with the tires after they arrive at the landfill that will be different. Yeah.
Any questions? And thank you for that clarification.
Certainly. Any other questions?
All right, any other question, Mr. Williams? If not, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Denton, Mr. Wallace, y'all finished?
Yes, sir.
You hesitated.
No, we're just trying to make the best use of this money, and
Yes, sir.
So from time to time, we're going to require some tweaking. We knew that.
Oh, yeah.
To the process.
Yeah.
To spend this. Yes, ma'am. Christine, you want to remark on that?
The funds currently, Dee and I talked, and we are anticipating an extension, but the funds must be committed, which we've already taken care of because you accepted the standard revenue replacements. We've met our first deadline, which is the end of 2024. Funds must be expended currently by the end of 2026. And we've already done that too.
And
Technically, it's gone through revenue replacement.
Except everything has been spent, except for what we're holding for a broadband project.
Yep.
Everything else, that $6 million that you put in the capital reserve, I've already spent. We've done all that. But just what is left in broadband is what is remaining to be appropriated for that date, and we expect that date will probably be completed.
Good question, Commissioner Davis.
And I remember we had a presentation from US Cellular
Mhm.
at one time. So, and nothing has come forth from there. And I know I'm a US Cellular client right now, but I'm very unhappy with their services that I've received, honestly, since COVID hit. I don't know if you can see about the services that dropped a lot, especially in the area.
Yeah, I'll comment if you would like me to.
Go ahead.
Briefly, we had a presentation from US Cellular where we, Halifax County, wanted to offset the cost of equipment installation for point-to-point wireless service. But we wanted to do that for our low-income citizens. US Cellular could not make their program work. They would have to offer the same equipment credits for someone making $100,000 as someone who makes 25. And as you know, that's not the business that we were in. We were in more of a community development program to help our lower income citizens. So we've been back to the table and played ping pong for a while, and they have yet to come back and be able to make that work for us. So we want to make that program work for you, but it doesn't seem like they're able to make that happen at this time.
So those funds are now sitting in fund balance.
I hate to ask this hard question, but let's say if we not able to come to anything, just get to an impasse with it, what happens then?
Nothing. The funds would sit
We
in fund balance.
just have the money in fund balance.
All right. All right, any other questions?
No, I'm just saying, I'm crossing my fingers before my term ends. We've been talking about this for, let's see, 8 years, 100 years.
Mr. Chair, I move that the third amendment to all the grant projects ordinance be approved.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Brewer, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Smith. I tell you what, when he leaves, I'm gonna miss that board. Can I record it? All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay, I believe Ms. Denton had added a resolution on, about a search grant. We'll help you at this time, Ms. Denton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening to all of you again. This was in your weekly update on Friday. As you know, we've been working with USDA on a pilot project called Closing America's Wastewater Gap, which is to provide wastewater sewer services to the Meadows Sewer District, which is primarily in the Hollister community. Before Renee left, we were in the process of applying for a search grant, which those funds would pay to do an updated preliminary engineering report and an environmental assessment. We were notified last week that we were awarded the grant in the amount of $149,520. And as you might expect, along with that comes quite a bit of paperwork. And in your weekly update, what I included was the letter of conditions, which is about 10 pages long, and it basically lists out all of the documents and assurances that the county has to complete in order to receive the grant funds to proceed with the work. So what you have in front of you, or was in your update, is a resolution that says that the county will accept the letter of conditions, which is the longer document. They did put quite a bit of pressure on us last week to go ahead and sign. They wanted to obligate the funds. They did that. They've already sent back the grant agreement signed. So upon approval of this resolution tonight, we can move forward with doing a grant project ordinance likely at your next meeting and then starting the work with the contractor. So what I request tonight is just the resolution. That's just a one-pager that would accept the letter of conditions, which would include the grant agreement, the request for obligation of funds, equal opportunity agreement, and the assurance agreement. And the resolution includes that you would ratify actions taken by the chairman, county manager, or the clerk of the board that we did last week, which is really just the clerk of the board and myself.
Okay, you finished?
Yes, sir.
Any questions or comments from Ms. Denton?
If I can just clarify for the public, the work that would be done with this grant would be a preliminary engineering report and environmental report. I know the board is aware of that, but public may not be. It's not any kind of construction work on infrastructure, so preliminary engineering. And we have that contract in place and ready to go.
Thank you,
The conditions, if you're concerned about 10 pages of stuff, it's fairly typical for what we see with federal grants. We're very familiar with it. I've reviewed all of this, and it's all in order, and in case you have any questions along the
Okay. So unless one of my colleagues want to repeat what Ms. Denton said, we can just say that we make a motion to that effect.
Just adopt the resolution.
Right.
Yep.
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
Okay. All right, motion made by Commissioner Johnson, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Is that okay? Okay, all right. Okay, moving to item 2, other business. And I think that I'm the other business person. And you all may have something too. Item A, resolution in honor of Lizzie Ella Richardson Burgess, Halifax County centenarian. Ms. Johnson, this was the young lady who's 101 that you presented this to, is that correct?
I went to the home of Mrs. Liz Ella Burgess. Miss Burgess and I have been members of the same church for a really, really long time. And we had not seen each other since COVID.
Right.
And so I went the day she turned 101. And so she was so happy that we had sent her that proclamation. And it just amazed me at how well she remembered everything. And her daughter told me that when she wants to be reminded of something, she says, all I have to do is tell Mama. And Mama remembers everything. She remembered the people at church. It was just amazing. I hope when I get 101, I have that kind of mind that she has. But she was very excited. She had someone to take a video of her over the proclamation. She had me to read the entire proclamation. So I stayed there a couple of hours. And it was just a wonderful experience for me. It was a wonderful experience for me.
And I appreciate.
So she has her proclamation.
Well, that's great, Ms. Johnson. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention too. Thank you so much for that. At this time, Commissioner, I don't think we need to read it again. You all probably have already read it. Can I get a motion for the acceptance of it? Okay, motion by Vice Chair Brewer, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Johnson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay, thank you all so much for that. The next item is the letter celebrating J.J. Ray's 90th birthday. His daughter talked with me about us recognizing him in some way. And, you know, Ms. Johnson worked with J.J. Ray with the Halifax County Schools for a very long time. And many of you sitting around this table probably know J.J. Ray, and probably some folks in the audience too. And he's just an incredible man. But anyway, he's having a 90th birthday celebration on February the 17th in Rocky Mount, and all of you are invited to go. And I plan to go on behalf of the commissioners and present this letter, subject to your approval of it tonight, just basically telling, you know, that we're thanking a lot of you, appreciate all of your work in Halifax County, particularly at Eastman School, and we just wish you a happy 90th birthday celebration. So anyway, with that being said, commissioners, I don't think I need to read it unless you all want me to. Can I get a motion to that effect? Motion by Vice Chair Brewer, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Johnson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. And I think, Madam Clerk, you received a special email from his daughter thanking us, because I think you had shared her with what we were going to present to him. Right, she was, yeah. Okay, with that being said, next item is closed session, and Attorney Rollins touched on that a little bit earlier. You want to be more specific now a little bit?
Mr. Gunn, I asked that you go into closed session so that the county manager and I can discuss with you your directives and other matters concerning possible acquisition of real property.
Okay, all right. Madam County Manager, do you have anything else to add?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Scott?
No, sir, nothing for me tonight.
Okay, all right. With that being said, can I get a motion to go into closed session for the item that Attorney Rollins made reference to?
For the public, there won't be any action needed after the closed session.
Okay. All right. Motion by Commissioner Webb, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Please don't move, y'all. Let's keep our places so we